This is the morning of the 1st of March, 2026. One of my viewers sent me an interesting link. It's on the JFK assassination. You know, if you tune into a couple of the clips, I've only put up about 200 on the JFK assassination. And in one of them, I recall stating that the suspected shooter, Harvey Oswald, was pictured standing in the doorway of the book depository when the limo drove by. In other words, he was a patsy. I want you to listen to this.
Evans, this is KUTV News at noon. John F. Kennedy assassination, UFOs, the New World Order, and the secret government. Those are just some of the areas today's guest says he has incredible information about. In the early 1970s, Bill Cooper was a Naval Security Intelligence officer. He says he was privy to secret documents that gave almost inconceivable explanations to some of the things I just mentioned. Bill Cooper, thanks for being with us today. Let's talk about the JFK assassination. CIA plot?
Well, from the top secret documents that I read while I was in Naval Intelligence, it concerned the Central Intelligence Agency, the Secret Service, Division 5 of the FBI, and the Office of Naval Intelligence, and that's why I was able to view these documents.
Now, why would the CIA and the security community want to kill the president?
From what I understand and from what I read, Bob, they viewed President Kennedy as a security threat, and I'm not sure exactly what that means. But the documentation clearly said that the assassin was the driver in the car in which he was riding in Dallas on that day, and it was plainly visible in a film withheld from the public.
Now, you brought that film with you. Let's take a look at that if we can. Here's the film. Go ahead and narrate this for us, will you?
Well, it took me 16 years to find this film because it has really been withheld, and what you're seeing here is the motorcade on Elm Street passing in front of the book depository building. Kennedy has been shot in the throat, and Jacqueline is pulling him toward her, trying to comfort him, and she's in shock. At this time, you see the driver turn around with a pistol in his left hand, firing over his right shoulder, and shoots the president directly in the head.
Here's a repeat of it, yeah.
The weapon, watch the driver, his name is William Greer. He was, in fact, a Secret Service agent. The weapon is an electrically operated, gas-powered assassination pistol built especially for the Central Intelligence Agency.
You don't see any puff of smoke from...
That's correct.
Because what you think is a pistol there in the right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner.
That's correct.
Why is that?
Well, it's an air-operated pistol. It's pneumatic. And it actually fired an exploding pellet which injected shellfish toxin into the president's brain so that if the actual explosion of the pellet itself did not kill him, the toxin would.
Now, did you read all of this in the documents?
Yes, and that's why his brain was switched for another brain in transit between Parkland Hospital in Dallas and Bethesda Naval Hospital in Washington, D.C.
Now, what about Oswald?
Oswald was a patsy. We have a photograph of him actually standing in front of the book depository building in the doorway watching the motorcade as it goes by. That is Lee Harvey Oswald there. You can look at his clothing, and you can see in the following picture, I don't know if we're going to show it here, but we also have photographs of him when he was under arrest.
And we don't have that, but I have seen that photograph, and they do look quite similar. The clothing is very
Absolutely.
similar.
We've also done body measurement proportion comparison analysis between the two photographs, and there's no doubt it's Lee Harvey Oswald.
This is it.
There you go, folks. Does this surprise anyone? What I don't understand is there were other people in the limousine. How come they didn't notice what happened? And I told you, Harvey Oswald was an absolute patsy. Kenny was shot right there. Blew his head right off. They took out his brain because the brain that he had was full of poisonous shellfish toxin. You know whose brain he had? Well, he was switched. His body was switched with Officer Tibbetts. That's who's in the grave of JFK. And that's so easy to prove. Just exhume the grave, for God's sakes. They got Kennedy's daughter. So they got DNA right there. But they won't. You know why? because they know Oswald was a patsy. I'll attach the link. You know what William Cooper thinks? Got a damn good idea as to what I think. I can't do this alone, folks. Pass it along, and thanks for listening.